Our caravan in Allegheny Park. We're doing a caravan trip in 1960 from Belleville, Ontario, south to Cape Hatteras and back, driving a 1954 Oldsmobile. I'm 13 years of age, my brother is 11, and my sister Margaret is in her mid-teens. An early shot of our house in Belleville, Ontario, at 111 Palmer Road. A 1960 photo of our lounge room. That's me, Dawn, on the right, and my sister Margaret on the left. My father rented the caravan. On our way south, we drop in to visit one of my father's bosses. My father worked as an electrical engineer for a company called the Northern Electric, the Gangawares. Our trip lies south to Johnsonburg, Rossiter, Pennsylvania. Margaret admires the gently winding highway of Johnsonburg, Pennsylvania. We decide to stop at Dubois, Pennsylvania. Overlooking the rolling country of Dubois, Pennsylvania. We reach the summit overlooking the Dubois coal mine in Pennsylvania. From our hometown of Belleville, 110 miles east of Toronto, we travel to Toronto, then down to Buffalo, USA, and head directly south to Breezewood, Pennsylvania. This is the Breezewood, Hancock area on the Blue Ridge Mountains. Mile 6 of the Blue Ridge Trail. And the Blue Ridge Trail was highly scenic. Lots of rolling hills and green countryside. My sister Margaret overlooks Buck Hole in Shenandoah Valley. My father Ernie and mother Hazel overlook the Piedmont. The Piedmont province lies between the eastern slope, the Blue Ridge, and the coastal plain, 70 miles away. This is a gently rolling land surface with scattered small mountains. Located in Shenandoah National Park, not far from Chesapeake Bay in Washington, is Franklin Cliffs. This scenery made a deep impression on all of us. A view from Franklin Cliffs, North Carolina. We leave Pennsylvania and enter Virginia, where we pass through Massanutten. Chesapeake Bay is to our right, along with the city of Washington. Massanutten, the first two parallel ridges beyond the river, are the north end of Massanutten Mountain. Fort Valley lies between the ridges. Signal Knob, the high point at the end of the second ridge, was used for observation and signaling by both armies in the Civil War. They took turns. For 50 miles, the south of this mountain splits into the Shenandoah Valley. The colorful flowers of Port Royal in the Blue Ridge Mountains. The photo has badly faded since 1960. We admire the stunning scenery of Dickey Ridge overlooking a Shenandoah sunset. My mother Hazel looks on with George and myself from Dickey Ridge. We drive on south through Virginia to Fisher's Gap. The beautiful mountain scenery of the Blue Ridges left a deep and enduring impression on George and myself. It's fairly misty and dark in the Blue Ridges at Hawksbill. Margaret and George at Hawksbill, Blue Ridge Mountains. Hawksbill, again. We've reached North Carolina. Dawn, in the picture, the narrator, overlooks Bald Mountain from the lookout. More photos from the Shenandoah Valley, a view from Stony Lookout, or Stony Mountain. It is located close to Luray, site of the Luray Caverns. Our next port of call is the Luray Caverns in West Virginia, an absolutely magnificent complex of caves with stalagmites and stalagmites. The Luray Caverns is situated in the gentle rolling farmland of Luray. The rock formations are magnificent, although back in 1960 they weren't that well lit and cameras didn't have flashes. My father took his pictures with natural light, so they were of course blurred. Limestone deposits and minerals dripping from the ceilings caused these formations to reach downward. Those women's dresses back in 1960 certainly were long. We push on towards the ocean, Cape Hatteras and the Wright Memorial, as well as Oregon Inlet. The Wright Memorial is located near Nag's Head and is a small national park situated directly on the ocean. A memorial to the Wright brothers. I learned a great deal about the first flight and about the Wright brothers who manufactured bicycles before they got into flying. The monuments to the left, the original hangars for the Wright brother planes, are located in this photograph. A much closer photograph of the Wright brother hangars, well preserved after all these years. George looks at a monument to the Wright brothers. We push on along a small strip of land overlooking the ocean, Oregon Inlet. I think it's actually bridged now, but back in 1960 there was a gap which required a ferry. Cape Hatteras is located only a short distance further south from Oregon Inlet. After the ferry trip, it's the island at the bottom. A close-up view of Oregon Inlet. Today's bridge is shown. It was actually the site of quite a fishing industry, and we admired the catch of the day, a very large sailfish. This looks more like a swordfish to me, and I was very impressed by the sword. That's going to be one heavy fish It takes a lot of muscle to lift that weight. The boat harbor at Oregon Inlet, quite a fishing town. We catch the ferry and feed the seagulls. What fun! Hazel, Margaret, and George admire the seagulls and the fishing trawler in the background. Well, our destination is Cape Hatteras, shown here. The town of Buxton is located on the west side of the island, while the A marks the Cape Hatteras lighthouse, which I think was recently moved a few years back, since the date I was there in 1960. Looks a bit like a zebra with its black and white spiral stripes, but the lighthouse is very magnificent and is a landmark, has been for many years. Our Oldsmobile, which had pulled the caravan on the Cape Hatteras beach. There is quite a magnificent beach overlooking the ocean and a big surf. Yet another view of the Cape Hatteras beach. We had a wonderful time splashing around, my sister Margaret enjoying herself. It looks like good fun, and those waves were quite large, seeing that we had never really gone swimming in the ocean very often. We head back from Cape Hatteras to our home in Belleville, Ontario in a rush. The last photograph was Poughkeepsie in New York, so I guess we must have gone back by way of the Thousand Islands and Gananoque to Kingston, Ontario and Belleville. Poughkeepsie is memorable for a large bridge which we enjoyed crossing. Well, it's homeward bound. It looks like our car has a cracked windscreen from this photograph. My father only got 3 weeks, or perhaps it was a month, annual leave, so the trips were always rushed. It's been a magnificent trip and a memorable experience for the whole Pugh family back in 1960. We appreciate your company.